Hello everybody. Let's see here. It's Jen and we are live for demo time. So if you don't see live up here in the corner, you are watching a replay. And welcome everybody to the Thanksgiving virtual crop. Now that Thanksgiving is over, I am in full gear towards Christmas mode. So hope you don't mind. Today we are going to create a bottle tag. So let me show you my inspiration. I found this photo online and I printed it on my home computer, and this is how big it printed for me. So nice and big, but this is our inspiration today. We are going to create a bottle tag. I kind of figured out the dimensions and the directions on my own here. And I've seen these over the years, but I have never actually created one. And last night for Thanksgiving, we went to my husband's grandma's house. Grandpa is no longer with us, but we went to grandma's house and I brought a bottle of wine. I always do. And I thought to myself, I probably should have created like a lovely little bottle tag to put on that. But I didn't have time. And so I thought I'm going to make some right now so that I have them for Christmas, for the holidays. If I bring bottles of wine or whatever somewhere, you could put it on any kind of bottle of alcohol, or you could just put it on, like a nice bottle of like eggnog or whatever you want to do. So I thought this was kind of fun. So this is my inspiration here. We're going to create a couple of them. I cut some bits and pieces and we're just going to get started. So I'm going to set this off to the side a little bit so that it's here, but it's not in our way. And I've figured out the dimensions so on my own. So hopefully this is right. I don't know that there's a right or a wrong. I didn't even like really Google it to see, or Pinterest or whatever to see if it was correct. I just kind of went with it. So, I've got a bunch of like die cut pieces that I've already done here. Some of them were just kind of in my stash and some of them I cut. And then I went ahead and prepared one piece. So I will give you the dimensions. I have some white cardstock. This might be like good white cardstock. You know how there's like good white cardstock that you don't want to like use, and there's scrap white cardstock. This might be good white cardstock, but that's okay. So the main piece is 3.5 by 9.5, and I scored it at 3 inches. And then my circle punch is 1 3/4 inches. And then my decorative piece, I'm just gonna put deco, is 3 by 6. And I did 3 by 6. It left a little bit of a border, but I thought, if I wanted to make these in bulk or whatever, that would be a good size, because then you're not wasting paper, but using a lot of extra paper. So these are the dimensions. So I'm going to just kind of leave that up here for you. But this one I already cut. So it's not 9.5 inches long by 3.5 inches wide. I scored it at 3 inches, and then I did my 1 3/4 circle punch. Now, when I do the next one, I'm going to try to make the circle punch a little bit more in the middle. I was using this circle punch, so I don't know, I guess I really didn't know like how far in the middle I was getting the circle. But the next one I do, I'm going to get it a little bit more centered. So I thought for this one, this is cherry cobbler cardstock. I used not the two-tone cardstock, but my fully dyed through cardstock's a little bit thicker, and I think it works a little bit better for like these decorative pieces. This is paper from Modern Christmas. I love this because it is so versatile. There's it's black, white, and gold, and most of the papers have like some black, white, and gold on one side, and then just a black and white pattern on the other. The black, white, and gold side does have some Christmassy patterns, and then the other side are very generic. The blade on my trimmer is getting a little bit dull, and this cardstock is very thick. So when your blade starts to get dull, it frays thick cardstock, but it cuts regular paper just fine. So I try to like wait as long as I can before I replace. Okay, so I'm just putting this gold, black and white striped piece right on here. I cut this ornament piece out of some green glitter cardstock that I had extra, and then the little topper for the ornament out of gold foil paper. And this die comes from Ornamental Christmas, and this is the die set that coordinates with this paper pack. And so it has an ornament, it has just a circle, it has a couple of trees, a star. These are the little toppers for the ornaments. This I could have cut, like, put this inside the ornament and cut it, or even like these little like diamondy things too, but I decided just to cut the ornament because it's green glitter paper and I'm going to cover it up. So this die coordinates with the Modern Christmas set. So this is going to go just right here, kind of in the middle of my piece. And then I have this banner that I had cut previously from another project. I have several of them actually. And this banner comes from the Traditional Labels stamp and die set. So the banner is in the die set, and then the Traditional Labels has a couple of sentiments that actually go right on the banner. One of them says Season's Greetings, and the other one says Sending Love and Joy. So I'm going to use that one, Sending Love and Joy, and we are going to grab a block, and I'm going to stamp it in Cherry Cobbler, which is this outer color that I chose for my cardstock. And so you can see I've stamped a lot of these in Cherry Cobbler, and Cherry Cobbler like really stains the stamps. So does some of the blacks, but Cherry Cobbler really stains it. So, and that's okay because it still stamps really well. So it fits really nicely right in the shape of this banner. And so I'm just going to stamp it right in there. Sending Love and Joy. And, oh, I don't love the little boo-boos on that. I do have a couple of extra. In fact, I was going to just say I wanted to stamp one more for possibly using on the other one, but I don't think I'm going to use it on the other one. So I'm just going to stamp one more. I have a little baby wipe here. And let's season that up a little bit. We'll just kind of tap, tap, and try to not over tap there. And we'll stamp right again. This is not one of those pieces where you could flip it over and stamp again. I don't think. It might be. Let's see. No, it's going the wrong direction. Yeah, because then the banner's going the wrong direction. So I could still use that. It's not terrible, but you know, when you're giving a gift, or sometimes we are very particular about our own stamping. And so when I do run like my dies through things like this, I try to always get extra. And that's why. So we're going to just move this one to the side. And then this is pretty much done. So I'm going to adhere all these pieces. I'm going to adhere this with some dimensionals, which are sitting here buried. And I love these dimensionals. These ones are such a good thickness. They're not too thick, but they're not too thin. And they just peel right off, and the little doohickeys come right off as well. And then they go everywhere. So I'm constantly finding these little like hexagon things like all over the place. So we're just going to put that a little bit higher than the middle. And then this one has to go on a dimensional, because when you glue stuff to glitter, you need to use some kind of a glue dot or foam something or other, because traditional adhesive doesn't always work. So this is just going to go across like so. So again, we're just layering it up with our foam dimensionals, and I just love these things. So I'm just going to throw a bunch down the middle. I think this might actually go off the edge of the project just a tiny bit, but that's okay. So we're going to go right there through the middle of the ornament, and it does go off the project a tiny bit, and that's beautiful. And then it would hang. So I don't have, I do have like my iced tea. It could hang on my iced tea, but that's kind of silly. So I'm not going to do that. But then what I do want to add is a piece of ribbon at the top. And from my sample, let me move the sample back in here. It has a piece, like a little bow, and it looks like it's on the top here. Like when you fold it, it's got the bow on the top there. So that's where we'll put it. And I'm pulling in, this ribbon is Mossy Meadow and Gold, and it is gorgeous because on one side it's very gold, and on the other side it's not as gold, but it's got that Mossy Meadow in there too. So I'm going to make a bow, and forgive my bow tying skills. They are not great, but listen, I make the effort, right? And when I do classes with people, like in person, I try to, tie all their bows, and they love it when I tie them, even though my bow tying skills are, they're not fantastic. But I think sometimes when someone else ties a bow for you, you love it. So there you go. All right, I'm gonna take my snips and I'm going to cut the edges at an angle, and here's my lovely bow. And then I am going to put that on there up at the, it's just on top of the score line, and I need a glue dot. So I am a big fan of these little tiny glue dots. If you didn't know, these are glue dots. These come in the kits. So either in your paper pumpkin kits or in the brown box kits collection. And they come on a sheet like this. And for a long time, I was like, I don't need glue dots. I don't want these. And so I used to, don't tell anybody, I used to throw them away. And then I needed glue dots. Like there's always a project, like when you use ribbon or twine, or you need glue dots. And so at that point, I realized I should stop throwing them away and start keeping them. And so I do have like, this is a tiny little stash on my desk, but I have another little stash that is in my, like my to-go bag. I have a little bag that has all my adhesives, and I throw it in when I like travel, when I go to crops or different things. And so I have a little bag in there too. So that's my tip for you. Like, I know sometimes we just have like so much stuff and we're like, I don't need this, and we throw it away. And glue dots are not a thing to throw away. Like, I'm sure you guys are like, Jen, why would you ever throw that away? But I did, and now I don't anymore. Okay, so there is the first one. Super cute. Let's make another one. So for this one, I pulled out, this is Shaded Spruce is the name of this cardstock. And again, my trimmer is a little bit dull, so I'm just going on the side and kind of snipping off the little excess. I did not score it yet, so let's do that. I just cut it, but now I'm going to bring it into my paper trimmer. And I love this Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer because it has a scoring blade too. So the darker one is my cut blade, and this lighter gray is my scoring blade, and they both fit on there. And the cool thing is they both will sit like at one end, or hold on, I don't want to cut that, or they will both sit at the bottom end. So when I'm not using the scoring blade, it's always sitting at the bottom, and then I can cut like back and forth. But when I want to use the scoring blade, I can slide the cut blade up to the top, and then I can just score. So I do like having the scoring blade on here. It saves me from having to bring like a scoreboard somewhere, or even pull the scoreboard out if I just want to like score and cut real fast. This is so easy. The only time I pull out my scoring scoreboard is if I'm doing a ton of scoring. So that's kind of the fun thing about that. Okay, so let's put this in, and we're gonna, I don't know how to eyeball like the center. Okay, I think that's more centered. Well, that's as far down as it goes. So I'm eyeballing the centering on the sides, and I put the cardstock in as much as it will go, and we'll punch, and that, oh my gosh, that's so much better. It is pretty much center. Oh, you guys, that was great. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. We're just going to adhere our decorative piece. Now I could have done 2 layers. I could have done like this one has a gold layer and then the paper. I'm just doing 1 layer. And I have a little bit bigger of that green border on there, which is kind of fun. And it really is just an effort to like save paper. But I guess, if you could make it a little bit thicker by adding a 3rd layer to it. So on this one, I cut, let me see all my pieces here. Okay, so I have another one of these, but this is not the right green, so we're going to set that aside. I have a gold gold foil, I guess this is a banner, stitched banner. Those are the words that I'm waiting to come out of my mouth. A stitched banner. And I thought that could be kind of fun, like right there. I don't want to cover up too many trees. Like I want this little trio of trees to stick out, so I could go down lower here. And then I could do this one like this. Okay, I thought that would be kind of neat. Or then I cut this red piece to layer with this piece, and we could go sideways or we could go up and down. And if I did up and down again, I would try to leave this trio of trees. So this one right here is one single tree. So covering that, I'm not that like sad about, but I do want like the trios to kind of, you know, like you gotta watch the placement there. So this is also from the Traditional Labels die set. And so I know it's kind of like a jumbled mess in here, but it has multiple frames for your sentiments. And so it's got a couple of like smaller ovals. It's got this bracket here. This is the banner piece that I already stamped on, and then like a smaller bracket. Now they're not all the same shapes, but they do layer very nicely together. So I think that's fun. And then just as a note, these have like these little wings that are not attached. So that kind of gives it a little bit of dimension. And this one has the same thing, like that it's not fully attached. And so it just gives it a little bit of dimension. So that's fun. Our stamp set, let's see what we could stamp in here. So on this one, actually, if I turn it this way, Just For You fits really good. But I could also leave it this way and do like merry and bright, or that says cheer, not cheers. I was going to say cheer to you. That doesn't work. Cheer, hap, cheer, hap. I don't know. Like it's kind of mix and match, but I might, let's see. Let's just pull them out and see which way. I kind of like it this way. Adding like a little bit of red in there. So I think I'm just going to do Just For You. And since this is kind of like a gifty thing, I don't need it to say like Merry Christmas or, you know, Happy Holidays, Season's Greetings. Where did my block go? Right there it is. I can just let it be Just For You. Okay, so I'm going to stamp on this one in black. So I have my Memento Black already on my table, and you could tell I've used this one a bit. I've used this stamp and die set in a couple of different classes already, so it is well loved for the holiday season. And really, what is wrong with my stamping today? You guys are getting me raw and unfiltered. Okay, I only have one of these cut, so I'm really just gonna flip it over. And I promise you, I stamp better than this. But I am human, so there's that too. Okay, that's so much better. Goodness gracious. What's happening here? Okay, so we cleaned off the stamp and put the block back where I'll find it. Put that back. Okay. And then we're going to adhere this on, again, with lots of dimension. Look at my dimensionals back in here. Tell me, what are you working on today? Are you scrapbooking? Are you starting to do Christmas crafting? Prior to, oops, that was upside down. Prior to coming on for this video, I was starting my Christmas decorating. So last night when we came home from Thanksgiving, I had the family help bring in all the boxes. And so, you know, I helped get them down and they brought them in. And when I walked in the living room, they're literally smack dab in the middle of the living room. I'm like, oh, okay. So I sort of watched TV around them last night, but I thought, you know, I need to start doing that. So I started on that, and I'm in the era of I don't love all my Christmas decorations, and so I'm ready to get a big giant garbage bag out and get some new ones. So I know that's probably not on, you know, anybody's list of, you know, like getting new things. And my family will probably be like, really, Mom? You don't need that. But I do. Okay, so I have this much of this shiny ribbon. Is that what it's called? Yep, it's called shiny red ribbon. And I'm gonna throw that away. And I'm gonna attempt to make a bow out of this, hoping that it's enough. It's thicker, it's not thicker ribbon. It's long or wider. That's the word I'm going for. Wider ribbons. So yeah, let's see. It looks a little messier than that. Needs to go like that. Come on. I'm trying to get it tight, and every time I try to tighten it, it like loosens up. Okay, there we go. I think this is good. So that one's cut good. This one just needs a little angle. And again, we're going to glue dot it up there above the fold. So I'm kind of torn on, you know, getting some new decorations, but and then, you know, I'm also like, oh, well, while I'm at it, while I'm taking other, like my regular decor down, I'm like, maybe I don't want that anymore. So I don't know, there might be a big garbage bag full of stuff. Soon, like today also. Okay, there we go. So we have 2 bottle tags. Let me get the trash out of the way. This is, again, the Modern Christmas papers, which I have gone through personally, like 3 packs. I've done cards with them. I've done Christmas layouts with them. I have done Disney layouts with them. And I'm actually, because like I said, it's got black, white, and gold, but then the back side of all of these patterns, like this, well, this is one of the patterns. This is not a double-sided, but it's got a plaid. It's got lots of black and white, right? I am about to do sports pages with them. Black, white, and then any color, right? You can add any color, like whatever your sports team is. Like when we went to, you know, like we follow the Bulldogs, obviously with my kid playing for Fresno State. So they're blue and red. His school colors were like this red and gold. You know, like going to any sports game, like if you're a fan of like, let's say the 49ers, you could again use the red and the gold. If you're like a Raider fan or a Dodger fan or a Giants fan, like you could add whatever colors you want and then scrapbook those games. So I'm super, super excited about the sports pack coming up, but I don't have the directions yet. I'm getting it from another demonstrator, so super excited about that. But this is our bottle tag. We've got our inspiration, the black, white, and gold. We've got our green, red, and gold, and then again, red, green, and gold. So tell me, would you make these to bring as a gift? I think this is a really easy, fun way to like jazz up a gift and bring it for the holidays. And I wish I would have done one for Thanksgiving to bring yesterday, but I didn't. And so now I have a couple of them ready to go for the holidays. So tell me if you would make one of these. If you happen to make some, drop them in the comments. I will take pictures of these and drop them in the comments also. Thank you so much for joining me for demo time. I will be back here later tonight for some show and tell. I have lots of fun things to show you that I've been working on my table. So have a fun day, enjoy the challenges, and we'll see you back here at 7 o'clock tonight. Okay. Love ya. Bye.